the world of. There it goes again, man. I always forget to hit the microphone volume on. There's a button. I have a hotkey on this keyboard, right? And basically what that means is if I click, I think it's M, right, on the keyboard, it mutes the mic. And I think when I'm typing on other softwares and stuff, I may accidentally mute the mic. So again, I apologize for anyone who didn't just hear what I said. I'll repeat myself. But welcome to the World of Wrestling show. As always, I'm your host, Jake Randy. Tonight is Showstopper episode number 7. This is a show where we're going to talk WWE news and rumors. WrestleMania week is upon us, and we're only a couple of days away from WrestleMania. So we're going to talk all the news and rumors of WWE going on. About the mic. Yeah, so I got a new mic right now, and I'm testing it out. It's perfect for WrestleMania week, a perfect upgrade. I hope it's an upgrade. Let me know if it's a downgrade, if it doesn't sound good. Maybe I got to adjust some of the settings. Before the show started, I had some issues with it, so hopefully no issues as the show goes on. But without further ado, guys, let's kick off Showstopper episode number 7, and let's get right into all the WWE news, rumors, and action. Alright guys, welcome back to the show. I'm still getting a little set up. I'm going through the notes right now, just making sure I have everything ready for you guys. Let me double check. Alright, we're doing pretty good. Again, let me know how the mic sounds. I'm not sure if it's too loud, if it's too low, if I should go back to the older mic. Let me know. Alright guys, without further ado, let's jump into all the action. What's been going on WrestleMania week? Let me know what you guys have been doing WrestleMania week. Are you excited for WrestleMania? What are your thoughts? It's been a busy week for me. I've been busy all week, purposely done, because this is the perfect time to take an opportunity for wrestling fans. The most exciting week for a lot of wrestling fans. So I'm taking advantage, doing video after video. I hope you've been enjoying what has happened in the past few days. I uploaded the Vince's greatest creation, WrestleMania. I hope some of you guys enjoyed that. But with that being said, let's jump into tonight's Showstopper episode 7. So what's been going on with WrestleMania week? First things first, more photos were leaked of the WrestleMania stage. I'll go ahead and put the photo up on the screen. Not too much right now. You can kind of see the wording, WrestleMania. It's going to probably be huge letters, WrestleMania. Kind of like WrestleMania 30. It's the exact same arena, but there's kind of like a Joker's hat they're going to do, New Orleans style, or NOLA, what do they call it? NOLA. So it's still early, you know. But usually what WWE will do is, I think it's the Friday before WrestleMania, they'll usually upload a reveal of the whole stage. So if you want to see the stage, it's coming soon. We might see it tomorrow. They'll probably upload something on their YouTube channel or their Facebook or something. That's usually around the time when the arena's done, and then they test out pyro, I think, that night too. Stuff like that. Speaking of pyro, another thing that came out was WWE actually testing out pyro right before sometime this week. A video was released of pyro that was being tested outside of the arena of the Superdome. And let me see if I can bring up some of that footage for you guys. Yeah, here's some of the footage that was leaked, I guess you could say. Somebody uploaded. I'm pretty sure they're not supposed to be revealing this stuff, but somebody was uploading. You know, maybe they didn't know. They recorded video of them testing out pyro. There's some leaked photos. I couldn't get a hold of them, but I've seen them, and you guys could probably find them online somewhere. But there's photos of a bunch of pyro, you know, in trucks full of pyro. So WrestleMania 34, will there be pyro? It seems like it's been confirmed. There definitely will be pyro. So I'm excited for that. I couldn't imagine a WrestleMania without pyro. You know, ever since they took it out after last year's WrestleMania, the question for me all year long was, are they going to have it at WrestleMania 34? So it looks like they are. It looks like that is confirmed. What else has been going on? Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler. Apparently they're going to be doing, you know, it's been known for a couple weeks that they were going to be involved with WrestleMania, but they didn't know exactly what was going to be done with them or what was going to happen. It's been revealed that what Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross will be doing is actually commentating for the pre-show matches. There's been they've announced actually that too. They've announced the pre-show matches for WrestleMania. Let me go through that in case you guys didn't get to watch my previous show where I had talked about this. WWE has confirmed that the following matches will be on the WrestleMania 34 kickoff show. There's 3 of them. The first one's going to be Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. No surprise there. The WrestleMania Women's Battle Royale, that's new to us. That is going to be on the show. And the Cruiserweight, and this one kind of made a lot of people upset, but the Cruiserweight finals of the tournament, the championship, the vacant title between Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali will take place on the kickoff show right before, I guess you could say, WrestleMania starts. And that got a lot of people pissed off, I've seen online, because these guys have worked so hard. And, don't get me wrong, I'm a huge fan of 205 Live, man. I've been catching up with all of it. Once they announced, Triple H was getting more power, that even got me more involved with it. I started watching more of the playbacks. Buddy Murphy and Kalisto had such an amazing match. The tag team match on 205 Live last week was great. They're doing amazing. There's definitely some good changes happening for that show. And I think, yeah, it kind of sucks that they're on the pre-show or the kickoff show, but it's still on the WWE network. People will still be able to see it. I'm sure many people are going to see this match, and they still have a chance to prove to a lot of people that they deserve a better spot. And hopefully they kill it at WrestleMania like I expect them to, and we'll see in the future the Cruiserweights get better positioning on, I guess, the card, you'd say. What else has been going on? Let's go through the notes real quick, and let's see what else has been happening. Big Cass is going to have a name change. That's it, kind of speculated, because WWE recently trademarked the name Colin Cassidy, which was Big Cass's old name back then. This is years ago, man. This was before, I think, he was with Enzo and everything, or maybe like early on when he tag teams with Enzo Amore in NXT. He was known as Colin Cassidy. It looks like they're bringing that name back because they're trademarking it, and on an application that was revealed, it said Colin Cassidy instead of Big Cass. So a lot of people are assuming that he's going to return as Colin Cassidy and not Big Cass. Man, what else has been going on? I got something in my throat or something. Roman Reigns, he recently spoke in an interview. I thought this was interesting. I'd bring up on the show. He spoke in an interview with New York Post and talked about Brock Lesnar, who obviously is his WrestleMania opponent, which is speculated to be the WrestleMania main event. If you guys have not known, it seems like that's pretty confirmed. But he had some words to say about Brock Lesnar and his part-time schedule. He said, some people, end quote, he says, some people need to hear this stuff because this has kind of been a thing. Brock's not the only part-time guy, but there are a lot of full-time guys that are never gonna, as a collective, reach our potentials if we are dominated in the portion of this year by part-time guys. Whenever you have a champion who is on every single live event, every single house show, every single appearance that's scheduled, it changes numbers. It's true. I've seen it before. The tour we had after I beat Triple H in Dallas at WrestleMania 32, the numbers didn't lie, and it's not going to be any different this time. So Roman Reigns kind of standing up for full-time talent. It's been a huge thing over the few years. I think even, like, especially when CM Punk came out with the whole podcast on Colt Cabana's podcast where he was talking about part-timers. He mentioned Brock. He mentioned Dave Bautista at the time. He mentioned The Rock. This is when I think a lot of people got on board with the situation between part-timers and full-timers, and full-timers not getting enough credit for how much time they put in the WWE. Instead, losing opportunities to people that wrestle one time a year or less than 5 times a year, or whatever, their part-time schedule. So over the few years, I feel like this has been blowing up more and more and more. So it was kind of interesting. I just thought I'd point that out. Roman Reigns kind of standing up for a lot of the part-time guys, or not part-time guys, the full-time guys, my bad. I mean, good for him. I believe, man, these guys are on the road more than 350 days out of the year. They barely have any off days. They don't get to see their family. Some of them have kids and they can't even see their kids that often. So I mean, give credit where credit's due, man. They put in a lot of work. I agree that, you know, they need to give full-time talent those opportunities. And not only that, you know, it's not just that give credit where credit's due, but at the same time, the part-time guys are usually people of the past, you know, people like Lesnar and people like Taker, and you know, don't get me wrong, they're great talent, they are a great draw, and I understand the business aspect of that. But in the WWE, I think they need to think more about their future and their long-term superstars. You know, they need to think about people like Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose and people like Rusev that are really getting over. I think they really need to put their attention on these guys and really push for them to be on that main spectacle, like main event of WrestleMania. You know, I hope next year's WrestleMania, there's not a main event where we see another part-timer in the main event. I mean, every single year that, like, from maybe 28 all the way to now, it's been a part-timer in the main event, I believe. You know, we had Daniel Bryan versus Batista and Orton. Batista obviously being a part-timer. That's not so bad. You know, Bryan had his moment, but he was put into that spot because of the fans. Without Bryan going through that moment where the fans really pushed for him to be in the main event, we would have saw just Batista and Orton. In the past, we've seen The Rock versus Cena 2 years in a row. We saw, what was it, 31. We saw Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, part-timer versus full-timer. 32, Triple H versus Roman Reigns is the main event, part-timer versus full-timer. And 33, we saw Undertaker versus Roman Reigns, part-timer versus full-timer. This year, 34, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, part-timer versus full-timer. So just hoping in the future that we do see a full-timer, you know, get a chance with another full-timer, so you can kind of build towards the future of WWE and kind of build more talent, so that the WWE isn't only looked at as, you know, John Cena as the face of the WWE. Because at the moment, I understand they're trying to push Roman Reigns to the sky and whatnot, and he's their next big guy. They're trying to make him the next John Cena. But at the moment, if you ask just a casual fan, I feel like you're not gonna get, you know, if you tell them to name a superstar, they're gonna say someone like John Cena or Hulk Hogan or The Undertaker, or, you know, some big name of the past. And the WWE really needs to work on getting a superstar to getting more than just one superstar too, just to really build the future of the WWE and the new era of the WWE. But yeah, I'm going on a rant, so let's get back into the show. Let's talk about what else has been going on. What else has been happening? I talked about Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler. They're going to be commentating the pre-show of WrestleMania. I don't know if they're going to be in any other part of the show. I know last year we had rumors or a word going around that The Undertaker didn't want to do his last match, which we thought was going to be his last match against Roman Reigns, but they say he wanted Jim Ross to be there for his last match, so Jim Ross commentated that last match. I don't know if the Cena versus Undertaker thing does happen, if we're going to see Jim Ross commentate that match. We will see, I guess, and I'm sure, you know, they're not going to reveal that anytime before WrestleMania, because obviously we don't even know if the match is going to happen. WWE's not even going to announce it, as of what I know right now, until WrestleMania 34, whether or not we see Undertaker and Cena have some sort of showdown or whatever, and we'll talk more about that towards the end of the show. But what else has been in the news? Let me see. Let me go through some of the photos right here. Dana White was in the news for two reasons, right? Okay, so for the first thing, it's that he basically confirmed that Brock Lesnar is going to be returning to the UFC. In simple words, he had an interview, or he was on a Tonight Show of the UFC on FS1. I think it's called UFC Tonight Show. He had just some simple words, straight to the point. Yeah, Brock Lesnar's coming back. Quote, I don't know when he is, but he is. So, you know, Dana White knows. I think a lot of WWE fans know. I'm sure Vince knows. There's probably a deal they're working out, you know. Lesnar's contract's coming to an end anyway, so they're going to probably just write off Lesnar. My main concern with this is that, you know, if it's that kind of confirmed that Lesnar's going to leave, I'm kind of concerned that we're going to see that affect the match between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar in the main event of WrestleMania 34 this year. Because if you remember, man, couple of years ago when we saw Brock Lesnar, actually more than a couple of years ago, it's more than a decade ago, when we saw Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg right before they left, they were both out of the company. It was known that they were both going to leave the company, and it was a matter of time, and it was after WrestleMania. We knew that after WrestleMania you weren't going to see Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. So they went out there and just had a shit fest of a match. I don't think anyone else agrees or disagrees with that. It's known that Brock Lesnar and Goldberg really didn't give a shit about that match, and they didn't try at all. And the fans even turned on that match. You can go watch it back on the network. I'm not sure if they edited it or something, but from what I remember, the fans were booing. They started turning on both superstars. They cheered Stone Cold whenever he stunted all of them. And that was the last we saw Brock Lesnar and Goldberg until they came back years later. So I'm just kind of concerned that we may see something similar to that when Brock Lesnar decides to leave. Yeah, man, I can definitely see Brock not giving it 100% knowing he's done. Yeah. I mean, could we seeing a repeat of the Goldberg and Brock Lesnar thing? And you know, we've seen it in the past. I feel like in the past few matches that Brock Lesnar's had, there was the AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar match that was awesome at Survivor Series, and I was actually there live to see that, and that was cool seeing. That was a great match. But you know, AJ Styles can go with anybody in the ring and really elevate their game. But you know, Brock, we've seen him go against Samoa Joe, and in my opinion, that wasn't the greatest match. We've seen him go against Braun Strowman. Again, not you just kind of see that Brock Lesnar's not exactly trying in a lot of these matches. It took like 1 F5. He kind of just sold, and then 1 F5, and they were all done. It could be one of those 2.5 minute matches. That'd be kind of crazy, you know, because it's more than likely the main event. It would be pretty crazy to be just a quick 2.5 minute match. Kind of like the Goldberg and Brock Lesnar thing of last year, where they kind of just brought it out real quick and it ended. That's what I expect. I don't expect it to be short, but I do expect it to be kind of just similar to the WrestleMania 31 match, where they were just beating the crap out of each other. I would assume it's going to be like that. The way they've been building it, you know, it's Roman Reigns trying to get revenge on Brock, and Brock just beats the crap out of him every time. I'm really surprised this isn't like a no DQ match, or a no false count anywhere, or some match stipulation where there's no rules. It's just going to be, I guess, very similar to the WrestleMania 31 match. Surprised they didn't announce, or at least I don't know. Maybe I missed that, but I'm pretty sure they haven't announced anything like it being no disqualification or anything like that. Dana White also had another thing. Not only that Brock Lesnar is confirmed to go back to the UFC, but that anyone interested in CM Punk, it's true he's going to enter the octagon for a second time. He's going to go up against a guy known as Mike the Truth Jackson on June 9th of this year at UFC 225. So CM Punk's got another chance in the UFC for anybody interested. Anyone who might have saw him have his first fight, which didn't turn out very well for him. We'll see how he goes as he's 0-1 in the UFC. See what his future is going to look like. What else went down? The Rock is in the news again. Well, I don't know if this is a story I already kind of went over last week, but just an update on rumors on The Rock appearing at WrestleMania 34 and possibly appearing in a segment with Elias. Justin Barrasso of SL.com, I think it's SL or SI.com, has seemingly shut down those rumors. He said basically, as for The Rock, Sports Illustrator can confirm that one of the original ideas discussed for WrestleMania was a musical segment with Elias. We kind of talked about that. You know, Elias would be in the ring doing his typical guitar segment. And apparently the plan was to have a couple, like I guess, the legends come out, and Jeff Jarrett and a few others, and then we'd see The Rock, and then The Rock would have a concert. But the thing is that WWE was not able to, I guess, get a firm commitment that The Rock could actually be there. So that's when they pulled back on that segment. But in my opinion, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see The Rock. A lot of these news websites I've been reading on, they've been saying, you know, it seems like The Rock's not going to be there. But I think he still has a big chance of appearing at WrestleMania. They're still going, I think, with the Elias segment. If you've seen Monday Night Raw the past few weeks, I think it was last week, the last Raw before Mania, they were talking about Elias not having a moment or a match at WrestleMania. And then he even came out in the ring and talked about how he was going to have the biggest concert in the ring at WrestleMania. So I think they're still gonna go with a segment like that, Rock or not, and I feel like we are gonna see The Rock. I don't think any that I've heard, like his schedule or anything's gonna affect him going into WrestleMania or anything like that. So nonetheless, I think they're still gonna go with an Elias segment in the ring. I don't think there's any doubt of that. But will we see The Rock? I don't know. Some people are trying to say they're shutting down the rumors, but I think there's a good chance we do still see The Rock. Shoot, what else went down? Let me see. Maria Kanellis would give birth, so congratulations to her and Mike Kanellis. Not too far apart from the Miz and Maurice's daughter being born. That's awesome for them. Some weird online speculation between Charlotte and Asuka. So this is just something I thought I'd put out there. Cards, you know, when they put up, like, I don't know if anyone's ever been to a live show or WWE show, or you've seen it, like it's gonna come, WWE is coming to your local city or whatever. They'll air a specific or a special a commercial for your town, and they'll kind of give a tease of a couple matches that are gonna happen. They'll announce like a cage match or something that you don't even actually see on TV. But apparently they came out with the night after WrestleMania, which is going to be in New Orleans as well. They do it every year. It's in the same city. For Raw, they have advertised that Asuka is going to go against Nia Jax. And they have for the SmackDown after New Orleans advertised as Charlotte versus Carmella. So some people are taking this as it's a spoiler. It's going to be that Charlotte's going to retain the title. She's going to defeat Asuka in her undefeated streak at WrestleMania. Or Charlotte's going to win, and then Carmella's going to cash in, which is going to lead to Carmella winning, and then it's going to lead to Charlotte versus Carmella, on SmackDown, that being a feud. And then that some people are also predicting that since Asuka might have a thing with Nia Jax, then that might mean that Nia Jax is going to win the Raw Women's Championship, and then we see Asuka go back to Raw, and then she feuds with Nia for that. I don't think that's the case. I understand where that people can get that idea, but WWE is known to have, they're known to advertise certain matches, and then things happen, titles change, they changed it at the last minute. I don't think this is an actual spoiler. I just thought I'd throw it out there for anyone who was interested. I don't think it's a spoiler. I think there's still a huge good chance that Asuka wins. There's still a good chance, like I've said in the past, that Charlotte could win. Charlotte seems to me like she's the only person in the WWE right now besides Ronda Rousey. She's still fresh and new, but Charlotte's the only person I think in the WWE that actually has a valid chance of beating the Asuka's undefeated streak. But I don't think this means anything. This whole that Asuka and Nia Jax are being booked for the Raw New Orleans, and Charlotte and Carmella, they're being advertised or whatever. It always says at the bottom, card subject to change, so it could be changed any moment. I think they're just advertising whatever for now, because they have to advertise something ahead of time, or else nobody's going to go to the show. So yeah, I don't think that's any spoiler, but I could be wrong. Who knows? We'll just see you come WrestleMania. We'll see what happens. Mike Johnson of PW Insider recently talked about Rusev, who was planning to leave the WWE at one point. And there's rumors that, or I don't know if it's rumors, but I don't even know if it's been confirmed. It hasn't been confirmed by Rusev himself, but apparently this Mike Johnson guy, PW Insider, said that Rusev was reportedly being ready to leave. He asked for his release in the WWE, and then right after, a couple weeks after he had asked for his release, that's when they put him in the United States Championship match come WrestleMania. So people have been questioning, like, is it because Rusev Day's so over that they're worried and concerned that Rusev can go to another company and be over there, and then they would lose Rusev and he would go over there with all that momentum. So people are saying that the WWE kind of just placed him in the WrestleMania match so he can have his moment and stay with the WWE. I don't know. That's all speculation there. This is what the show's about. Rumors, speculation. So it's interesting though, nonetheless, man. That Rusev was actually possibly gonna leave the WWE with all that momentum because he wasn't proud of the way he was being booked. I feel like this isn't the first time he's been close to leaving. That's true. You know, he did have a lot of momentum coming in too. It seemed like the WWE was really gonna push him when he first came in. He was undefeated for so long. You know, he had that thing with Jack Swagger. But yeah, it came to WrestleMania. What was it, 31, I think? And that was when John Cena went against him. John Cena went over, right? Yeah, John Cena went over. And then from there, Rusev started declining and declining. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he was thinking about leaving back then. But apparently it came back up that he was thinking about leaving. He may even leave, man, if they don't give him the right opportunities. Like I'm saying, man, WrestleMania, it's the biggest night of them all. Give Rusev a chance. When you think about this, I know this isn't my prediction video yet for tomorrow, but let's say one thing. Rusev, he's so over. If Orton takes a loss at WrestleMania, is it going to hurt Randy Orton? Randy Orton's what so many time world champion. He's already going to know. He's known to go on a part-time schedule pretty soon. Not as hard as Brock Lesnar's, but you know, more days than Brock, but not as much as every other superstar. So he's going to be on a part-time schedule soon. Orton's had so many WrestleMania moments. Rude, you know, he's held the U.S. title. Jinder Mahal, I could see Jinder Mahal being a possibility, you know, because WWE can't just have all the faces win at WrestleMania. So he could be that one person they're going to try to push to be the heel, where he kind of sneaks in there and gets a win, takes the United States title and runs with it. But hopefully, if anything like that happens, hopefully, you know, they still push Rusev at least in the mid card, where he can have his moment with the U.S. title and he can chase it after with Jinder Mahal or something. I don't know if it was a rumor or if it was true, but apparently since he cut his hair, Vince had it out. Yeah, no, I actually heard about that. Yeah, I heard he didn't like give permission, you know, because the WWE is really strict on things like that, where you gotta let them know if you're gonna make any appearance changes or something like that. And I remember hearing about that story. I think it was a couple of months ago. I don't know if it was ever confirmed, but yeah, I remember hearing that rumor that Rusev had cut his hair. He didn't let them know, so Vince was like outraged about it. Yeah, I don't know how true that was, but man, I don't know what's wrong with WWE. Like, do they not believe that Rusev's over, or are they just thinking that it's only Rusev Day, the chant, that's over, and it's not Rusev himself? I don't know. I just don't get it. Like, why Rusev? I mean, we almost saw Rusev in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. I honestly think he was booked for that like 3 weeks before Mania, and then they quickly made that turn. Basically how the story says it, you know, that Rusev was asking for his release, and then they realized, you know, we got to put him in somewhere so he can be happy, so they put him in the United States Championship, because it was very last minute. I think that kind of shocked everybody, how they just kind of threw him in there. What was it? It wasn't this week, right? I think it was like last week that they put him in there. Or maybe it was this week. I don't know. No, it was last week. Yeah, it was definitely last week. I got all my days mixed up. But so just very odd, man. I don't know what WWE's going to do with him. I would like to see a Rusev Day moment, dude. The crowd would burst at the sight of Rusev winning the United States Championship. I mean, they're gonna be loud for him either way. That Rusev Day chant come WrestleMania is gonna be huge. What else? What else is in the news? I already talked about the confirmed stuff for the kickoff show. The North American Championship, that was a thing that came out. I don't know if you guys saw this. This is the title that's going to be on not 205 Live, NXT. Let me see if I can pull up the image real quick. I can't pull up the image. I remember this feud with Roman for the U.S. Championship. Those were good matches. If it shows he can succeed as champ, he really could. In my opinion, Rusev is a world champion material. I could see that him being in that title picture, but just, I mean, in the mid card at least for now, you know, as he continues to get more and more over. But I would like him to be in a world title picture. But yeah, he could be a good U.S. champion. I hope they do push him like that. He deserves it. And he's a great in-ring performer. You know, the guy's funny. You know, he came in real serious as a heel, and you know that worked out for him for a while. But he's really, if you've seen like Rusev behind the scenes and stuff, like just in videos and stuff, he seems like a really cool, funny guy, and he's great in the ring. So I don't see, like, is there something against Rusev? Is there some backstage politics we don't know about? Is it have to do with his language barrier? I know that's been a thing in the past for many superstars. I brought this up before. People with language barriers, you know, like Alberto Del Rio. You know, but Alberto Del Rio had his issues backstage apparently too. But People like Becky Lynch, you know, she lost the title and she never got back to the title because apparently like, some people backstage like Kevin Dunn didn't like her promos. So is it something to do with that? I don't know. But in my opinion, if they don't like Rusev's promos and stuff, you don't have to. Rusev's already so over. You don't even have to have him cut promos. The point of cutting a promo is to get a person over and to build them up. But Rusev does well in the ring. The crowd chants Happy Rusev Day. He's already over. Just push the guy already. You know what I mean? But besides that, we had the NXT North American Championship that was revealed. This title looks pretty neat. It's kind of like an old school look, but I always liked the titles that had the globe, or you know, there was that one title with the eagle on it, I think. But it just reminds me of a classic title, a pretty neat title I think they came up with. This is gonna be the winner of this championship will be revealed at NXT Takeover New Orleans. That card is stacked, man. I can't wait to review that with you guys. I love the look of this belt. It has a classic look. Yeah, exactly, that classic look, man. Even the color of the strap looks very classic. It's gonna look on whoever wins the championship. This is gonna be decided in a ladder match. I think it's a 6-way ladder match, if I'm correct. I gotta go over the schedule still. I've been keeping up with NXT when I can. You know, there's a lot going on, but I do watch NXT playbacks. And this NXT Takeover New Orleans is gonna be huge, guys. In my opinion, it really has the potential to be the best NXT Takeover ever, and it has the potential to kind of beat WrestleMania if WrestleMania doesn't live up to the expectations. So yeah, I'm excited to see that. That was revealed. A couple other things in the news, like Jeff Jarrett is a possible contender to be the next GM for SmackDown to replace Daniel Bryan. Stone Cold Steve Austin could be inducting Kid Rock into the Hall of Fame. And, you know, not too much in the news today. I thought there'd be a lot more considering it's WrestleMania week, but even with the news, man, it's like, let's just get to WrestleMania. We're a couple of days away. Takeover is right nearby. The main thing, man, is John Cena versus The Undertaker. You go on any news, WWE news site, everywhere, everyone's talking about, is John Cena versus The Undertaker gonna happen? Going through the week, there was a couple of different things. Like I read a couple of things that said Undertaker versus Cena update and possible options for this. This banner came out and people were taking photos of it. It's basically WWE advertising that they're still going with the feud at WrestleMania. The question at the bottom is, you know, will Undertaker accept John Cena's challenge at WrestleMania? A lot of people are speculating. It was even PW Insider that came out, and this kind of made a lot of people upset in the universe because PW Insider's latest says it's very possible there won't be a match between Cena and the Undertaker. There's a lot of people that were I don't know if it was speculation or rumors or they found something out backstage, but there was a lot of people saying that they were just gonna have a face-off in the middle of the ring, and this was possibly just gonna lead to something else. I don't know about that, and there's a bunch of people just saying this bullshit. John Cena versus Undertaker is gonna happen. Actually, Chris Jericho even mentioned that on his podcast, Talk Is Jericho. He had a guest on there talking about WrestleMania. They kind of gave their predictions on the show, and he mentioned John Cena versus Undertaker. He said it's gonna happen. There's no way they build up this much. It has to happen. If you think John Cena versus Undertaker is not gonna happen, you're dumb. Basically, he said. And a lot of people have been saying the same thing, man. And I'm there with everybody. It has to happen. It makes sense that it will happen. I'm not sure how they're gonna go about it. Is John Cena actually gonna be in the crowd as a fan, as he's been saying on Monday Night Raw? Is he just gonna sit front row the whole show, or like midway through the show he's gonna be in the crowd and the crowd's gonna start cheering, and then they'll have a match and maybe he watches the match, and then next thing you know, then after that match ends, they show Cena in the crowd, and then you hear the bell toll and Undertaker comes out, or so, I don't know how they're gonna go about it, but I think the best thing about this is that it's different. The fans have no clue what's gonna happen. I think it outraged a lot of fans the night that Undertaker didn't come out on Monday Night Raw, and I was even kind of crazy about it because I just like you, it was unbelievable. You don't expect WWE to go that direction. Everyone thought Undertaker was gonna come out, so it's different at least. All we can hope is that it leads up to its expectations. We do see something. I think the crowd's gonna explode if the Undertaker does come out, which everyone predicts. He's got to be there some way or some form. But if they do set up the match somehow, some way, the crowd is gonna explode. it's the dream match. No matter how many people said they didn't want to see Undertaker wrestle again, he was retired last year. He put his boots up. He's done. He shouldn't come back. Either way, I think people are going to mark out for this match like crazy. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. It's probably one of the main things on WrestleMania. I'm really excited to see. I mean, there's a lot to see, and I'm excited for. You know, Daniel Bryan returning again, AJ Styles and Nakamura, Charlotte Flair and Asuka. There's so many good things on this card. My main thing is I hope it's exciting. I know it's going to be exciting either way, but I hope it lives to its expectations, man. With that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the show soon because there's not a lot of news, like I said. I think I went through everything. Tomorrow night, though, I will be talking about my predictions for WrestleMania and for NXT TakeOver. So, guys, feel free to join that show. Let me know your predictions in the chat, as always. I want to hear all your guys' thoughts. Let me see if I can pull up my schedule real quick, just for anyone that may not know. I got it right here. So, basically, we went through the Monday Night Raw review, Tuesday Night SmackDown review. We're gone through that. Wednesday, if you missed it, I had the Vince's Greatest Creation WrestleMania video. I uploaded that on the channel. You can check that out if you missed it. Thursday, that's tonight, we did the Showstopper episode number 7 where we talk news and rumors of WrestleMania week. If you're watching this on playback, give the video some love, like it, comment on it. Friday, tomorrow night at 10 p.m., I will be giving my WrestleMania 34 and NXT TakeOver predictions. So, guys, join me for that. Let's get hype WrestleMania week. We're already about to be 3 days away from Well, we are 3 days away from WrestleMania. We're about to be 2 days away from WrestleMania. Getting closer and closer. NXT TakeOver is on Saturday. I'm excited for that. It's, like I said, guys, it's going to kill it. It's going to be exciting. Join me for that NXT TakeOver review right after the show. I'll have my co-host Nate on the show, who rarely joins me, but he's going to be there tonight on NXT TakeOver night to join me for that review. And then, of course, Sunday night's the biggest night of them all, WrestleMania 34. I'll be here shortly after the show. I'm not sure exactly when I'll get here, but I will be here, and I'll be up late, man. I'm going to be doing this show for a long time. We'll be going through everything. There's a lot to talk about, and we'll be breaking it all down right after WrestleMania. So I hope you guys are excited for it. Thanks for joining tonight's show. Thanks for anyone who commented. Gundam in the chat. Always appreciate you, man. That's basically it for tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow for NXT TakeOver and WrestleMania 34 predictions. It's all twisted in my head, guys. I've been busy this whole week. But all right, guys, that's going to be it for me. I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, take care.